you did an article in Hustler, and it was about being a fluffer in a gangbang. Okay.
Yes.
And okay, so tell me about being a fluffer in a gangbang, because I have so many questions, because I feel like the fluffers never get exposure, and I think it's very cool Hustler did that. And so like now I want to expose this audience to like what you get the call and it's like, hey, I need you to keep all these dudes hard. How many guys was it? Like, tell me everything.
I will do a quick brief synopsis. It is currently in the November Hustler issue. There's a brief subtitle on the top of the magazine, and it's inside on page 15.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thanks. It was great. It was so fun. Okay, so I am on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, it is now X, and I follow some production companies, and the first one I worked with was Tadpole, and they are out of the Chicago area. So he put a call out like, hey, this gal I know, Rebel Rider, she wants to do 100-man gangbang. And I said, do you need a fluffer? Like, I didn't click to read more. It actually said, if you want a fluff, comment below. So I was like, do you need a fluffer? And that's how it started. They did the Chicago Exotica. I went up there and met them in person, went through all the testing process with all the guys, all the other 6 fluffers. There were 7 of us in total. I tried to do like a head count when I went back through and watched the editing footage. There was a lot of guy ass. I didn't have my camera set up quite right. So each of us fluffers kind of got to do our own promo footage and produce our own kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of guy ass. I'm really tempted just to do a guy ass video clip because there's so much, but I haven't done it yet. So anyways, I did practice a little. I did some throat training with dildos, which you can get them like different hards and softnesses, like the silicone and stuff like that. But I practiced with a dildo and trying to like suction cup it to a door and using like both hands at once, because I was all out. I was ready to go all out. Let's do all this. Because when I first volunteered, I was one of the first couple to kind of step up to the plate. And so I didn't know how many there was going to be. I'm like, 100 guys, that's a lot of dick. Right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, potentially that's a lot of cocksucking. So I need to get my game right, you know? So I was like practicing, running through my head. I did fail on like the whole knee pad thing, but I know for future reference what to do there. So I did the throat training. I met the people. We did the testing, showed up at the event. And that day, if I counted correctly, I sucked 34 cocks that day.
Okay. Impressive.
Some came back through and it was hard to see. Some people were masked or I couldn't see their face or their number because everyone had a number. So that was my guesstimate, was 34.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's no small feat, my friend. That's pretty good. And okay. So was it the first time that you were a fluffer?
Yes.
Okay.
I've always wanted to be a fluffer. I was fine. Right. Did the testing, met the people. I was a little nervous because, like, some of the guys were at the testing, which was fine. Like, oh, hi, how's it going? Like, you know why we're all here. You know? And then...
See you later.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was there, and I got down on my knees. We were all starting to get ready to start. And it was like, you know, a big horn blow. Just kidding. And... all these guys stood up and started walking towards the lines. They were forming lines towards us. And I was just about ready to drop to my knees. And I looked around and I said, well, this brings things into perspective a little. And there was like a small chuckling in the crowd of cock. And so I dropped to my knees and the rest is history. But I was taking on like 2 and 3 guys at a time. It was great. Tadpole has footage up. I don't know if the official videos are been released yet, but I think hopefully soon.
So you were blowing and jerking these guys off?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to paint a picture for like maybe someone who's never even heard of like whatever, because we'd like to cater to everyone on this podcast, right? So your job essentially, again, for the newcomers, right? No pun intended. But like, Your job is to keep the guys hard on their way to the main girl who's trying to have sex with 100 guys, right?
Yes. Yes, or get them hard again if they've been through and they want to go through again. Like some people were a little shy and make it through the first go around, or waiting for a while, got to get hard again. So because there's a lot of guys. There's 3 holes. So, and she was a trooper because she was on the table. She was using her hands and her mouth at the same time. So she had 3 guys around her at all times.
Yeah, I mean, doing a gangbang is fucking insane, right? And like props, right? But also like being a fluffer is like fucking a thing, like hard to do, right? And so like
I loved it. It was great. I have an oral fixation, so I loved it.
Yeah. I think, and it sounds like, again, like you did it because you're like into it, right? Sure, it's like work and like whatever, but you were like up to the challenge.
I wanted to suck a lot of dick. Cool. Yes.
Yeah. I also have to say that like I feel like knee pads are a move and also I think that knee pads are becoming like a fashion trend because it's like kind of associated with blowjobs. I did see like Billie Eilish put out some like sexy photo where she's like booty shorts and knee pads, and it's like, I know she jumps around on stage, but it's like I could just see knee pads becoming like this
new thing. Next, like, perfect. I just need to invest in stock.
Right? Yes, absolutely. I think knee pads are going to become like a sexualized fashion statement. I feel people will like start mixing it in with whatever.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, so a good pair of knee pads for fluffing, right?
Yeah, and some of the other fluffers did like a line of one at a time. I'm kind of an overachiever. I like to stroke and suck at the same time. So I had to be mindful. I slowed down to 2 after a little while.
So they were like, hey guys, form a single line one at a time. I don't need to be overwhelmed. Thank you.
Yeah, there were certain guys like if they were ready now, go up and tap. And if there was one guy, one fluffer who did a really good job, and the guy finished in her mouth. So she delivered it to Rebel personally. Oh wow! Yeah, if they were close, I got a few like really really close where I'm like, go over there. Then they could give her their cum right there.
Yeah, so. Yeah. For sure. So like if a dude was like if a dude was with you and you're fluffing this guy, you're blowing this guy, right? And he's like, oh my God, I'm gonna come. You're like, go. And he would just go over and like come on her face, or
I wasn't over there. I think as much as possible they wanted to go in. Okay. So I think if she didn't have an open orifice, I think maybe she cleaned it up. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good question.
Well, this is a systematic working of a gangbang. We're breaking it down in all the technical aspects. It's science, right?
So much science.
We need to know how it works. Yeah. So there was only a couple guys who blew it early. Did any of them blow it early with you?
A couple got close. I was mindful. I almost just instinctually went like this. And I was like, oh wait, no, go. And there was a couple that like pulled back and was like really close. I'm like, go. So a couple did get really close with me. Nobody was too eager with me, and that's fine.
Yeah. Is this the first time that this is the first time you did a fluffing thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you done any more since?
No.
You sound really disappointed. Oh my God. Okay. Well, maybe they'll see this podcast and they'll be like, hey, we need to hire her. She does a good job. She's devoted. She's going to get some knee pads. Like,